Students, today I am going to do problem on root locus method. Okay, so the question is given here: a unity feedback control system has an open loop transfer function. Okay, so g of s is equal to k by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. Sketch the root locus. So for the given transfer function, for the given unity feedback control system, you have to sketch the root locus. Okay, so the first step, you have to follow steps to solve to sketch this root locus. The first step is to locate the poles and zeros. The step 1 here. Step 1 is to locate poles and zeros. First you have to locate poles and zeros. You just see that this one is the S plane. This is a S plane. So this is S plane. So this is a S plane. Okay. First we have to locate the poles and zeros. So here the poles are marked by cross. Okay, here the poles are marked by cross. Okay, and the zeros are marked by just circle. Okay, zeros are marked by just circle. Okay, so first you have to locate the poles. So how many poles we have? So you see this is our transfer function. G of s is equal to k by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. So here numerator contains zeros and denominator contains poles. Okay, see, in a numerator zeros are 0, there are no zeros. So in the denominator, so there are 3 poles. So s if we multiply s into s square, s cubed. So there are 3 poles. Since the power is 3, there are 3 poles. Now, so you just see that this one is 3, since there are square is 3. Okay, 3 roots are there. So we have to find what are those roots. So from this equation, so we find this. After that we locate. So your equation is g of s by k by s into s square plus 4s plus 3. How to find the poles? So how to find the poles? You can find the poles from this equation. Okay, from this denominator. So denominator, so what is the s into s square plus 4s plus 13. So 13 is equal to 0. So this is s is equal to 0. Then another equation is s square plus 4s plus 13 is equal to 0. So roots we can't find directly, so you have to apply the quadratic equation. With the help of quadratic equation, you have to find the roots. So we just here we apply the so here a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to 13. Okay, so quadratic equation, you know the equation, that is s1 comma s2, so minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. You just substitute here. So what you get when you substitute? s1 comma s2 is equal to, minus b means here minus 4 plus or minus b square means 4 square minus 4 into a is equal to 1, and 6 is equal to 4ac, c is equal to 13. So 2a means 1. Right. So what do you get now? So s1 s2 s1 comma s1 s2 s1 s2 So you just calculate it. So you will get minus, this is minus 4 plus or minus 16, okay, then 52, yeah, 16 minus 52 by 2. So how much you will get? So you will get, so we just calculate, you will get around S1 and S2. So you will get minus 2 plus or minus J3. Okay, right. So S1 and S2 you will get minus 2 plus or minus J3. So there are three routes. Okay, S1 is equal to 0, then S2 is equal to minus 2 plus J3, and another rate is minus 2 plus J. This is a minus 3J. So there are three routes. So these three routes we have to locate on the S plane. So I am going to locate the S plane on the S plane. I am going to locate the poles on the S plane. So you just see that this one is 0 here. This is a minus 1. If we take this one is a minus 2, and this is a minus 3. This is a 1. This is 2. This is 3. So this is a positive real axis. This is a negative real axis, and here is a 1J, 2J, and 3J. Here minus 1J, minus 2J, 3J. Okay. So now what we have to do? We have to locate the poles and zeros. So zeros we don't have. Zeros are zeros, and poles we have to locate. Look at the poles. So you just see that poles is S1 is equal to 0. Here is one pole. This is another pole is, and another pole is minus 2, 3, 0, and another pole is minus 2, minus 3, J. So there are three poles. There are three poles here. To locate poles and zeros. So we have to locate the poles and zeros on this S plane. This is the S plane. This is the S plane. You have to locate the poles and zeros here. So you know how many poles we have? The poles are, one pole is at S is equal to 0, and another pole is minus 2, minus 3J, and third pole is minus 2 plus 3J. So you see that how many poles we have? The first one is S is equal to 0, and the second one is minus 2 plus 3J, and the third one is minus 2 minus 3J. So these are the poles. So we don't have any zeros. Okay. So we locate it now. When we locate it, so here S is equal to 0. S is equal to 0. And another pole, see, S is equal to minus 2 plus 3J. So here is the minus 2. Where is the plus 3J? So if we here one pole, and the next pole is minus 2 minus 3J. So here 2, another pole. So three poles I have located. So when you located three poles, means that K is equal to 0. K is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0. Okay. Now here, so open loop poles is equal to the closed loop poles. Okay. So next step is to find the root locus on real axis. Step 2 is to find the root locus on the real axis. Step 2, to find the root locus. To find the root locus on real axis. Okay, so you just see that this graph when you see this plane, so this is this is a real axis from minus to plus, minus sigma to plus sigma. This is the entire real axis. Okay, so from here to here negative real axis, from here to here positive real axis. So in this real axis you have to find the root locus on the real axis. So how to find the root locus on the real axis? Just you see that you take a test point, and you take a test point, so you take here. So when you observed, only one root is here. Okay, so you have observed here, if you take a test point, this is a, I'm just going to TP, this is a test point. So right side of this test point, sum of poles and zeros are odd number. Okay, so then that part actually exists in the root locus path. Okay, what I'm saying, see the sum of poles and zeros odd number, for odd number, so root locus will exist on real axis, okay. So if p plus 0, if p plus sum of poles and zeros are 0 or odd numbers, even number, no root locus on real axis, exist on real axis, so then no root will exist on the real axis. Okay, so now we just take the test point. So right side of this point, how many number of poles and zeros? So number of poles and zeros are 0. So so this entire positive root locus is not belongs to root locus path. You have taken test points between this k is equal to 0 to, so this positive sigma. So since it is a 0, so this entire portion will not belongs to root locus path. Okay, we will take a test point here. We will take a test point. So I have taken test point between this pole and this minus sigma, so entire this negative real part. So we see that, so sum of poles and zeros, how many? Sum of poles and zeros 1, so only one pole is there. Sum of poles and zeros are 1, so it's an odd number, therefore this entire negative plane will exist on root locus. So this I am going to make as a root locus. This color I am going to use. This one is a entire root locus. So it starts k is equal to 0 here and terminate at k infinity. It terminate at k is equal to infinity. Okay. So now third step is to find the angle of asymptotes and centroid. You see now third step, to find the angle of asymptotes and centroid. Step 3. Just see the step 3 here. To find angles of asymptotes and centroid. Okay, so here asymptotes, angle of asymptotes so phi a we are going to represent. Angle of asymptotes, and also we see it is a directions. The direction. So you have to find the angle of asymptotes and centroid. Why you are going to find in third step? You have to find asymptotes and centroid. If you just see that if k is equal to 0, so the poles are here. Okay, if k value increases, if you increase the k value, so how these poles moving on the S plane, how these poles will move on the S plane. See, if k is equal to 0, this pole, if you increase the k value, what happened, this source has to go only this direction, terminate at this point. Okay, so this route doesn't go this side or this side, it doesn't go any other side except this side. Okay, because already the path is decided by using the step 2. So now what about these rules? These roads, as k increases, we don't know how they are moving and what direction they are moving. So this angle of asymptote tells what direction these angles are these poles are moving. Okay, which direction this pole is moving, so that will tell. So to find the angle of asymptote, the equation is the equation is so odd multiples of 180 2q plus 1 odd multiples of n minus m. Here q is equal to 0, 1, 2, so on n minus m, one directions. Okay, so here n is equal to number of poles, m is equal to number of zeros. How many number of poles? Number of poles are 3, we know. Number of zeros are 0. So 3 routes we have, so 3 poles. Okay, so poles and routes are same here. So number of zeros are 0 because in the numerator, so there is no 0, so there are no zeros. Okay, so now we have to find the angle of asymptotes. How are you going to find the angle of asymptotes? So first you have to substitute here. I am going to bring it this here. Okay, n minus m means what is the n? N is equal to 3, m is equal to 0, minus 1, so it is a 2. So q is equal to 0, 1 and 2. So for this q is equal to 0 and 1, 2, you have to find the asymptotes. So I am going to find asymptotes here for q is equal to 0. So for q is equal to 0, what is your asymptote? So you know the formula. So this is phi a is equal to plus or minus 180 2q plus 1 by n minus m. Okay, when q is equal to 0, what is the phi a? Phi a is equal to plus or minus 180. So what is the q? Q is equal to 0, so it is a 0 plus 1 by, so what is n minus m? 3. So or plus or minus 180 by 3. So how much you get? Plus or minus 60 degrees. Therefore phi a is equal to here 60 degrees, plus or minus 60 degrees. Thus when q is equal to 0. So next we have to find q1. Q is equal to 1. So what is the asymptote? So substitute simply q is equal to 1 here. So you will get phi a is equal to plus or minus 180. So substitute q is equal to 1, so you will get to 3 here. So this is also 3 here. So you will get plus or minus 180. Therefore QA is equal to plus or minus 180 degrees. Phi a is equal to 180 degrees. So when q is equal to 2, so when q is equal to 2, so your phi a, so your asymptote is, so plus or minus 180 into 5 by 3, so plus or minus 300 plus or minus 300. So here, so your phi a is equal to plus or minus 300. So now after finding this, you have to find the centroid also. You have to find the centroid. Okay, you have to find the centroid. How you are going to find the centroid? So this is very important. Centroid is equal to sum of poles minus sum of zeros. So centroid centroid we are going to represent minus sigma. So centroid is equal to sum of poles minus sum of zeros by n minus m. Okay, so what is sum of poles means? Sum of poles, so you know s is equal to 0. Okay, roots s is equal to 0 and another root is minus 2 plus 3j and another root is minus 2 minus 3j. This is a sum of poles. Okay, sum of zeros are 0. So what is n minus m is a 3. So from here plus 3 minus 3j plus 3j minus 3j will gets cancelled. So you get minus 4 by 3. Minus 4 by 3 means minus 1.33. So here minus is centroid is equal to minus 1.33. So since here minus is there, so you should not cancel it because centroid will represent as a minus sigma. Centroid we are going to represent as a minus sigma, so we should not cancel it. Okay, if a positive value comes, we should not give the negative value, so it should be same as it is. Okay, we are just going to represent centroid as a minus sigma. So we got centroid and also we got angles also we got. Okay, asymptotes we got. So we have to substitute there. So we have to locate this. So what is your angle of asymptotes? So you just I'm going to write here. Our angle of asymptotes phi a is equal to plus or minus 60 degrees, plus or minus 180 degrees, plus or minus 3 degrees. So this is your asymptotes and your centroid is this one. So now we are going to locate on S plane. Okay, so here the first you just locate the centroid is minus 1.33. so see, this is 1, this is minus 1, this is minus 2. If I take this is a minus 1.5, somewhere here is the centroid is equal to how much? Minus 1.33. From this you have to draw angle. Okay, you take the protractor and draw in 60 degrees. When you draw 60 degrees, so it will go this direction. Okay, when you draw 60 degrees, so it will go in this direction. So this is a centroid I am taking, so it will go at an angle of 60 degrees, and here also minus 60 degrees, minus 60. So see, it is enough if we calculate the required number of angles. Okay, here it is given by first 3 values of angles. The remaining values will be repetitions of the positive values. Just only I am going to take only plus 60 and minus 60. Others are the repetition of the angles. So only one if you take first angle, it is enough. Okay, now the fourth step you have to find the breakaway point. Fourth step you have to find the breakaway point. Here there is no breakaway point. Okay, the fourth step you have to find the breakaway point. Step 4, to find the breakaway point. To find the breakaway points. Here no breakaway point. Here no breakaway points. You just see that this root will go this direction, this root will go some other direction, this root will go some other direction. So the roots are not meeting here, so there is no breakaway point. Now the fifth is to find the angle of departure. The fifth step 5 is to to find the angle of departure. To find the angle of departure, you just see that in this graph, as k value increasing, how this root will move, which direction this root will move. Okay, so if k value increasing, this root will move this direction and got an angle of 60 degrees, or how this root will go. Okay, so for that you have to find the angle of departure. To find the angle of departure, there is a formula. So by using that formula, you can easily find the angle of departure. Okay, the formula is here angle of departure. So the angle of departure, so this one I am taking as a and this one I am going to take a dash. Okay, so angle of departure at pole A, angle of departure at pole A. Okay, so you have to find angle of departure at pole A. To find that, the equation is, so this is sum of 180 degrees minus sum of angles of vectors sum of angles of vector to the complex pole A from other poles. Okay, next, so plus, okay, sum of angles of vectors to the complex pole A from zeros. What is how to find the angle of departure? 180 minus odd multiples of 180 minus sum of angles of vectors to the complex pole A, okay, from other poles. Next, sum of angles of vectors to the complex pole, okay, A from zeros. Okay, it means what you have to do, see 180 minus here 180, this is the formula, 180 minus something like that. Okay, so you have to find the angle of departure. So here what is that he is saying? Sum of angles of vectors to the complex pole A from other poles. It means, so you just draw one angle, one vector from this pole. So we are going to find angle of departure here. Okay, so what happened? You have to draw from other poles, you have to draw a vector to this. So I am going to draw a vector this, okay, and I am going to give a angle, this is a theta 1, okay, and this is also pole. From this pole also I am going to draw this pole. So this is angle, this is actually we are going to angle 90, always this is angle 90. Okay, if it is symmetric, always it is a 90. So there are no other zeros. If zero, suppose if a 0 is there, so you can also if 0 is there, you can also draw here. So we have to find the net angle contribution by poles and also net angle contribution by zeros. So here, so this one, it means this is a net angle contribution by poles, net angle contribution by zeros. Okay, so you have to subtract both. From 180 we have to subtract sum of angles contribution and we have to add sum of angles contribution. Okay, so now what is theta 1 and theta 2? So this is, I am going to put the theta 1 and this is theta 2. This is theta 2. And take this is theta 2. So if we take here what is the theta 1? Since this is a 180, so we are going to subtract from 180. So here theta 1 is equal to 180 minus tan inverse imagined by real part. If we just see that you have taken, what is the imaginary part? Imaginary part is only from this portion. How much this is? 3 unit. Okay, from real part from here to here, how much it is? A 2 unit. So I am going to put 3 by 2. So theta is equal to 180 minus tan inverse 3 by 2. So how much you will get this value? You already know theta 2 is equal to how much? 90 degrees. So sum of angle contribution of zeros is 0. So now I am going to write a formula here. So that you can easily understand. So angle of departure at pole A. So I am going to write here in words. So I am going to write. So that is angle of departure at pole A. So 180. Okay. Sum of angles of the vectors to the complex pole A from other zeros means angle contribution from poles. So you can write T1 plus T2 so on like this, plus this one is the net angle contribution by zeros. So I am going to write theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3 and so on. So if we just see here, so 180 minus, what is the theta 1? Theta 1 is equal to 180 minus tan inverse 3 by 2. Okay, so what is theta 2? Theta 2 is equal to 90 degrees. The sum of angle contribution by zeros are 0. Okay, so we have to find only A is equal to 180 minus 180 minus tan inverse by 2 plus 90 degrees. That we are going to find it. Okay, so how we are going to find it? So I will tell you here. So A, what is the A here? I am going to write it here. So A is equal to, so angle departure at pole A. Okay, so 180 as per the formula minus theta 1 minus theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, this is theta 1 plus theta 2 so on like this. So this is net angle contribution by poles. Okay, net angle contribution by, this is net angle contribution by zeros. So net angle contribution by zeros are 0. Okay, so A is equal to 180 minus, what is theta 1? You know 180 minus tan inverse 3 by 2. Theta 2 is equal to 90 degrees. Now we have to calculate. So we have to calculate. I have values here. I will give you. So here 180 minus tan inverse 3 by 2 is equal to, that is around it will come 123.7. So 180 minus, so this portion, so this value is 123.7 degrees. Okay, so if you get total, so if you just add it and subtract, so you will get minus 33.7 degrees. So this is the angular departure at pole A. So at this degree, so minus 33.7 degrees, so it is departuring. Okay, you just see that how I am going to draw it. So if you just see here, this is, so you just take it here. I am going to draw little, I am going to elaborate this one here. So if you just take here, this is how much? 180, this is a 90, and this one is the, if you just take anti-clockwise direction, so 90, 180, 270, 360. If you take this is a clockwise direction, so this become 0, minus 90, minus 180 like this. So since our angle is in minus degrees, so you have to take minus. So this one is the minus 90. So what happens? This is a 0. Say, so I am taking the clockwise direction. So So you have to take the protractor, you have to draw angle minus 33.7. okay, where is our angle? This one is our angle, you got it, minus 33.7. okay, so where is it? It is a 0 means it is 0, it is a minus 90 means somewhere here. So 30, somewhere here this portion, this point, this angle is minus 33.7 degrees. So that is, so this is departuring at an angle of minus 33.7. here also the same thing. So here also the same thing, it is departuring. So this angle I am drawing at minus 33.7 degrees. So I will draw another color so that you will easily understand here. I will draw it the another color. So this is, it will, so how much it is? This much angle here, minus 33.7. so this is going to departure at an angle of minus 33.7 degrees. So now we have to find the angle of departure at pole A, and another formula for angle of departure at A dash. So just you have to put the minus, that's all you will get. So here angle of departure, so here angle of departure at pole A dash is equal to minus, the formula is here like this. So we just put here so minus 33.7 degrees, so it become 33.7 degrees. So this will be the 33 point, this is 33.7, this is minus 33.7. at an angle of this the poles are departuring. okay, so now we have to find the crossing angle. Sixth step, to find the crossing point on imaginary axis. okay, step 6, step 6 to find the crossing point on imaginary axis. So how we are going to find? You just see that, see, this is, I am moving at an angle of 60 degrees and this angle is moving this direction. So this root will go this direction. okay, so after k value increasing, this will cross through, it will pass through the imaginary axis. So we have to find at what value of omega it is passing through, or what value of k and what will be the omega value, that we have to find. You know that if a system, so this pole is moving on the imaginary department, system is marginally stable, so we have to find that value. okay, if it is here, if the root is somewhere here, so it is a stable. okay, it's a stable. If the poles are moving on the imaginary axis, it become marginally stable. If it will go away from this imaginary axis, so it become unstable, because the poles are moving into the right half of the S plane. So we will find the 6th point, and the 6th point is to find the crossing point on imaginary axis. So to find that, so what is the characteristic equation? So your characteristic equation, the characteristic equation is given by, so s into s square plus 4s plus 13 is equal to 0. okay, so you are finding the root locus for closed loop system. So you will get like this, 1 plus s into 1 plus k by s into s square plus 4s plus 13 is equal to 0. When you cross multiply, what you get? S into s square plus 4s plus 13 plus k is equal to 0. When you multiply, s is cube plus 4s square plus 13s plus k is equal to 0. So this is our characteristic equation. Okay. So what you have to do? Put s is equal to j omega. Put s is equal to j omega. So then we can easily find the omega value, k value. So if we just substitute s is equal to j omega in this equation, what happens? J omega cube plus 4 j omega square plus 13 j omega plus k is equal to 0. So what happened here? So you can write j cubed omega cube plus 4 j square omega square. This is 13 j omega plus k is equal to 0. Okay. So j cube, you know that j square is equal to minus 1, right? You know that j square is equal to minus 1. So what I am going to write? So j cube omega cube. So minus j omega cube. 4 j square omega square means minus 4 omega square. So that is, I am going to keep as it is, 13 j omega plus k is equal to 0. Okay. So now real part and imaginary part you have to separate. What is the real part? This is the real part. Okay, this is imaginary part. So 13 plus j minus j omega cube, this is the real part, the imaginary part. This is also imaginary part, plus 13 j omega. Okay, plus what is the real part? K minus 4 omega square is equal to 0. Now we have to write this minus omega cube plus 13 omega plus k minus 4 omega square is equal to 0. So now let's separate imaginary part and real part. You have to make it 0. So minus omega cube plus 13 omega is equal to 0. Next, k minus 4 omega square is equal to 0. So what happened? Minus omega cubed minus 13 omega, this one gets cancelled. Okay. So what happened here? 1 omega, here also 1 omega gets. So omega square is equal to 13. So omega is equal to, so you will get plus or minus root 13. It means, so your omega value is equal to, so plus or minus 3.6 radian per second. Since omega is equal to here omega square is equal to 13, so k is equal to minus 4 into 13 is equal to 0. So k is equal to how much? Here 50. K is equal to 52. So k is equal to 52. Omega is equal to 36. So omega is equal to 3.6. So where is 3.6 here? So if we just take here, so omega is equal to, here your omega plus or minus 3.6 and your k is equal to 52. At k is equal to 52, omega is equal to 3.6. 3.6 means where? So it's somewhere here. So this root is moving this direction and crossing point here. So at this point omega is equal to how much? 3.6 and k is equal to 52. The same here also. Okay, same also here. So what happened? This angle is moving this direction. Okay, this root is moving, so in this direction. So this another root also moving, so in this direction, So this is the final root locus. I am going to draw in another paper very clearly how the root locus will appear. finally I am going to draw here. So this is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, here 1j, 2j, 3j, here 4j, here minus 1j, minus 2j, minus 3j, minus 4j. When you located the poles, so one pole here, one pole here, and another pole is here, another pole here, and another pole is here. So this is a A, okay, and this is a dash, okay. Okay, so by the second step we find the root locus segment on the real path, okay, real axis. So this is entirely real axis. It terminates at k is equal to infinity. Okay, so you have to find the centroid. We find the centroid. What is the centroid? The centroid is how much centroid? Minus 1 point. The centroid is minus 1.33, right? Minus 1.33. So from at angle of 60 degrees we have drawn it. Okay, so your k value how much? What the k value is? So here omega is equal to 3.6 and k value is equal to 52. So this is moving at an angle of 60 degrees. This is moving at an angle of 60 degrees. So this is only angle directions. You have found it. This is the angle directions. At an angle of 16 degrees the root is moving. So this is 60 degrees and this is a minus 60 degrees. So your root is moving, so at an angle of minus 33.7 degrees. So your root is moving like this, and here also your root is moving. So here we have found this value is this here. So this is the root locus path. This is the root locus path. So how many root locus branches is there? Okay, so there are 3 root locus branches. This is a one root locus branches, and another root locus branch is this one, and another root locus branch is this one. So this system is marginally stable when omega is equal to 3.6 and k is equal to 52, because it's on the imaginary axis. Below that the system is stable. Okay, so if we increase the beyond the k value, so omega will crosses the imaginary axis, the system become unstable because these poles are moving toward the right half of the S plane. So this is a root locus sketch. So this is root locus sketch of 1 plus gs, or you can say 1 plus k by s into s square plus 4s plus 13.